So before we dive into the modeling of the house, I'm just going to show you the final model, what it looks like. So this is a traditional villa, and some of the common characteristics, features are like the bay window at the front. Then you got a veranda with some timber ornament, a timber balustrade, and we got the same thing at the back porch, ornaments and the balustrade. And the exterior has horizontal timber weatherboard cladding for the walls, and on the roof we're just gonna have a metal roofing. Okay, now just gonna make a new file. New. Okay, so now we got a new file here, and the first thing is that we're gonna import a floor plan that we're gonna use as a reference to create a house. So here I place the floor plan, and now we need to resize it so it's to scale. So first we're gonna explode the image that we just imported, make it as a group, then get inside. So we do that so it's only the element that's in that group that will be resized. And then we're gonna use the tape measure tool, then go over one of the dimension, click and then click, and as you can see it's 623, and we just need to type in the correct dimension, which is 3.7. Yes, zoom out. So now we get our floor plan that's to scale. Okay, now next step will be to create the floors. So we're gonna use the line tool and just create an outline around the house. So here, this is I'm not gonna be too accurate, so I'm just gonna roughly place them in the correct position. Okay, so for here I'm just gonna finish that face first, and we gonna create the angles later. Okay, so now the face is created, and to have those angles we're gonna use some guidelines, and for that we're gonna select the protractor tool, click on one of the corner, the reference line, and then you can snap the guideline to that angle. So here it's 45, you can see at the bottom corner, and you can do the same thing on the other side. And you can, if you want, you can just type the value as well, press enter, and then it will create the guideline. And to create a parallel line, we just use the protractor tool, select the reference line, and just drag it into place. So now that we have all our guidelines, we just use the line tool and click to all the points. Now you can use the eraser tool, delete that line, and you can also delete the guidelines. So now we got a outline for the floor. We just need to give it some thickness, so we use the push-pull tool, go over the face and then click, and now you can drag up and you can input a value, and here we're gonna let's put it 200, press enter. So now we got a floor, and what I like to do is to triple click, create a group, and then create a new layer that I'm gonna call floor. So I just press the plus sign to create a new layer, then rename it. And while we have the element selected, you can go into the identity info, and at the moment it's layer 0, and then we just set it to floor. If those windows doesn't appear when you first create a new file, you can just go into window and select entity info and layers. You just click on it and then they'll appear. Okay, now we're gonna create the floor for the porch and the veranda, and this time instead of using the line tool, I'm gonna use the rectangle tool. It's just a bit faster for certain type of floor that like straight rectangle. So just click on one corner, and as you drag you can see that the shape of the rectangle, and you can just snap it to the other corner. And gonna give it thickness, so we use the push pull. This one we're gonna make it 100. Triple click, make it as a group, and we're also gonna put it in the floor layer. And we're gonna do the same for the veranda, so we use the rectangle tool again, snap it into place, and just do normally. I guess you just pull it up and press 100, press group, and set it up to floor. Okay, so now we got our floors. What we're gonna do next is to create the walls. Okay, before I go any further, I'm just gonna create a new layer for the reference plan. Reference, select the group, put it to reference, and so let's have a look. I'm gonna hide the floor layer. So as you can see, to create the exterior wall, what we can do is to use the outline that we created for the floor, and then use the offset tool to take that outline and bring it back, let's say 100 for the wall thickness. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So get back to the floor layer and get inside the floor layer group. Select that face and you can copy, so it's Control C. Press Escape to get out. Control V and place it back into the same location. And now I'm gonna hide the floor layer, so I'm just left with this. And a little trick is to use the texture of the reference and put it on that face so I can see the wall. So what I do, go to the material tab, and if you don't have it, you just go window materials. Then I'm going to use the sample paint. So this allows me to suck the properties of any faces, and then it will just give me the texture that's there. So if I suck, yep, so I get the texture of the floor plan, and I'm just gonna, well, paint that face with that texture. So now we get a floor plan onto that new face. What I can do, I can just hide the reference layer, and now select the face. I'm gonna use the offset tool, click on one of the edges, and then as you see, you can drag it inwards or outwards, and in this case we want to go in by 100. And now we get a new outline, and now we're going to use the push-pull tool to create a wall height. And so you go over that face, drag it up, and we're going to input, let's say 2.7. Okay, so now we got our exterior walls. And by doing it this way and like using the texture, it helps to create the openings later on. As you can see, you get the white space that show where the openings are. And like I did previously, I'm going to select everything, make it as a group, and create a new layer that we're going to call wall exterior. Put it here. Okay. So now we're going to do the interior walls. It's exactly the same process. Well, not exactly, but you're going to use the tape measure tool and create some guidelines first. Give it thickness of 100, and then you can use the rectangle tool to create a wall. Like you can see, the wall here. So I'm gonna do that for all the interiors. Um, and as you can see, like we have different colors. It just means that those faces here, they are reversed, so you can just triple click everything to select and reverse faces. Gonna do the same for this one, reverse. And before we continue, I just wanna clean up some edges. I'll just show you why. Because when you use the push-pull tool, see, because the faces are separated by lines, it will just select that face there. So first I'm just gonna delete all those little edges here, so that when I'm gonna use the push-pull, everything's gonna go up at the same time. So now that's all cleaned up, I'm just gonna use the push-pull tool and drag it up to 2.0 as well. Oh, wait, another technique. We're gonna do something similar because inside here you got some openings as well for the doors. So let's go back to the reference, and we gonna get the properties as well. Another shortcut would be to press Alt, and then you can switch between the paint and the sample little circle tool. So well, it was there already, but turn it off and then paste it there, as you can see. So now we get the white space that show where the openings are. And now we're gonna do the extrusion. So we use the push-pull tool, press 2.7, this one as well, this one as well. And so yeah, now we get the white space for the openings. Select everything, group, make a group, and create a layer, wall interior, and move into that layer. Okay, let's see what we have. Exterior wall and the floor. So that's what we have so far. And you see like there's like an overlap of the two faces because I didn't delete the face for the in the exterior wall layer, and it's still there. So what you can do is just get in and delete that, turn the layer back on, and actually we just get it into the floor layer and paste the texture back into it. So now it's all clean, and guess we're gonna do the same for this one here. Tick. So next, what we're gonna do, we're gonna create the roof. So that's a render of the house we're making. So here you can see we got a hip roof, and here we got a gable, and at the back is just a small hip as well, and on top of the porch is just a monopitch roof, and that's the same at the front. Okay, and well, those small roofs are supported by some posts. And to create a post, we're just going to use the rectangle tool, go over that face, and instead of trying to get a square, you can just type in the value, so 90 and comma 90. So now you get the post. We're gonna make it as a height of, let's say, 2.1. Then instead of making it as a group, because we're gonna have many, like 4 posts at the front, and all of them will have the same size and properties, so I'm just gonna create a component. front post. It just means that when you have a component, if you edit that component, it will be reflected on all the instances that are in the scene. I'll just show you what it means. So first I'm gonna put it in position 50, 50. Okay, I'm just gonna, let's say 3.5. Oops, make it clearer. And this one, I'm using the move command now. So the keyboard shortcut is M. Press M and snap it to one of the corner. And to create another copy, you press Control. Then you see the plus sign, and then you can move it along the red axis here. Just mean that all the object's gonna be move on a straight line. I'm gonna put it 1.5. Okay, so now I got 3 instances of that component. Let's say I get inside. See, as you select this, it's gonna select things in the other instances as well. So let's say I wanna create a line. Look, as you can see, you get a line here too. And using component that way really speed up the process, and you make sure that all of those elements are the same. Okay, so now I get my post. I'm gonna add one more post here at the back. I'll move it to 1000. I'm gonna create a beam, so that'll be supporting our roof. Still with the rectangle tool, click on one of the corner and go on the other one. Let's say we're gonna give it thickness of 90. Triple click and make it as group. Now to create our roof, create the rectangle tool and make a rectangle, give it thickness of 90, and because we want to have an overhang, let's say of 200 this way. Triple click, make it as a group. So now we got a shape for the roof, and we want to set it up as at an angle. So first we're gonna use the move tool and move it up so it's on top of the beam, and this is gonna be a pivot point. So now you can use the rotate tool. See the rotate tool stick on the faces, and if you want it to stick on a certain face, go to that plane and then you can press shift and it's maintained. It's going to maintain that plane. So stay at that pivot point, click on the reference line, and here you can just snap rotate the roof to any angle you want. In this case we're gonna go for 8 degrees. Okay, so now we got a roof to that angle. As you can see here, that's not connected. I think it's good to push the wall all the way through. So you can go into the group, you can select that face, push the push pull, and then you can move it up and down. Okay, we're gonna set it here. So now we got a roof. Let's go into create a new layer as well. So see, window, layer, make it stick, roof. Make it more precise. Roof veranda. Move it to here. And before I go further, I'm just going to show you another way to make the roof. Hide this. You can use some guidelines first, so use the projector tool, set it to 8 degrees, and select that guideline, and you can make a copy of the guideline. So now you press M, make a copy, and as you see, the blue line, it means that it's constrained to that axis. I'm gonna put 90, and because we want an overhang of 200, I'm gonna make another guideline using the tape measure tool. So now it's stuck to that axis, and we're gonna put 200. Now we're gonna create this rectangle, well, that shape with the line tool. See, let's snap it. So now get that shape, and now you can use the push-pull tool and drag it all the way to here. Now you get your roof. Okay, just need to delete the guidelines. Now we're gonna do the same for the back. Gonna use the same post, make a copy, bring it to the back. 50, 50. I'm just gonna show you another trick. So because I think I'm gonna set like 4 posts here, and let's say we want to make it so it's at equal distance. So first you're gonna make a copy with the move tool and press Control. Let's say we're gonna put 6.5, and now what you're gonna do is press the slash button, like the divide button on the numeric pad, and you see at the bottom you get the slash, and then let's say we're gonna divide by 3 segments, and then press enter. So now you get 2 more posts in the middle, and it's divided by 3. And just like at the front, if you move this one, everything's gonna be changed. Okay, oops, controls the beam as well. So here we get the beam. A bit short, so just select that line there, press the move tool, check, and just drag it to here, or even drag it all the way to touching the wall. And press P to get the push-pull tool, extrude it for 90, triple click, make a group. I always try to group each object so it doesn't unite with any other object, so it's just easier to edit them later on. So for this one I'm just going to reuse the guideline technique. And I can press E to get the eraser tool and delete those guidelines. So that's a group. We're going to make a new layer, roof, porch, porch. Okay, so now we're going to create the main roof. So we got a hip on top, at the back, and at the front we got a gable. Make a rectangle over here. Make a rectangle there, and select that line, just move it into place, and I'm just gonna continue here, go over this, delete the line, because this area is gonna have a hip. This is a gable, so we're just gonna do it in separately first. So the concept is that you create a face, then you create the profile of the roof, and you're gonna use the follow me tool, and I'll just show you how it works. Okay, I forgot one thing, because I other eaves as well of 200. So here we're gonna use the offset tool, bring it outwards 200, and let's hide the exterior wall so we can, and interior as well, so we can select the, so you see you get the original line, and because we don't need that anymore, so we just delete it, and because we have that line there, so we just double click and delete that as well. So that's gonna be the surface of my roof, and now I'm gonna create the profile. The roof pitch is gonna be 30 degrees, so take the projector tool and let's turn on the wall layer back on, so you can use that face as a reference for the plane. So go over this, press shift, and then move it into place. Set it to 30 degrees, and then take the line tool, go to the midpoint here, go up until you reach the guidelines, go down. So this is going to be the profile of a hip roof. So the next step is select the face, click on the follow me tool, and then click on the profile. Ta-da! So now you get a roof. First thing, as you can see, it's purple, so it means the face has a reverse. So we're just gonna triple click, right click, and then reverse faces. And now we have some cleanup to do. So to get rid of those faces that's not part of the roof, we need to first create some lines there so we can easily delete them. So I'll show you why. So if I delete this, see, it's deleting some of the other faces. So press Ctrl Z. To do that, we just triple click, intersect faces with model. So now some lines have been created, and if I delete that face, this face still there. Okay, and to ease up the cleaning stage, we're just gonna hide all the other layers, floor layer as well, and click on delete all the extra line with the eraser tool. Turn it back on. Floor. Okay, just gonna make a group, make a new layer, roof main. Okay, now for the cable, we gonna do a bit the same way. Let's delete that roof first. Oh, not delete, just hide it for now. And go over here and create. Okay. Okay, so oops, now get the face created. Main roof. Oh, here, because we have a needs of 200, so I need to move that line 200 this way, and on this side 200, this split 200, 200. Well, I've did it the manual way, but you could have also used the offset tool. Okay, so now we got this face here, and to create a hip, we're just gonna use the protector tool to create some more guidelines to give you the right angle. Put it at 30 degrees as well, and from here go up, and we got it from this side as well. Let's just delete those lines here, and now you can use the push pull tool to pull it back. Now you get your front roof. Let's turn the main roof back on, and because you want them connected, so just gonna push it until it touch, or you can go a bit in. And now what you can do is to select that group and explode it. So now because you explode, it will get connected with that faces as well. And now you can do some cleanup. Oops. For some reason it didn't create a line. Well, just select everything, intersect with model, and now you get your line here. Now you can start cleaning up edges. And I'm also going to close that face, so just click the line. Boop. Now the face is closed. And, I'm also going to give it a thickness of let's say 200. So first triple click, make everything as a group, move it to the roof layer, main roof, and I'm gonna move it up 200, and I'm gonna get inside the group, use the push pull, going downwards, and type in 200. As you can see here, we have an extra line, just delete. Now we got a roof. Let's turn on the roof for the porch and the veranda, and the floor. Cool. We're gonna create the openings. So we're gonna hide the roof layers, we don't need that, and we don't need the floor as well. Maybe I'll just create a new layer for the post and the beams. Post and beams. Select this. And make everything as a group. Put in the post and beam layers. Okay, now just turn that off. Okay, now for my windows. To keep everything simple, I'm just gonna make them so that the sill height, it just means the bottom of the window will be 1 meter from the ground, from the floor. So we gonna create a guidelines here, and then we're gonna move it to 1000, and then the top of the windows will be set to 2.1. Get inside that group, and then take the rectangle tool, click on one of the corner, and then click on the other one, and you see at the bottom you get the value, so it's 1100 and about 900, so you can just retype it, comma 900. So now you get the window of the correct size, and that's placed correct position. And as you can see, this is the same, so we can just press M, grab one corner, press Control, got a plus sign, and just move it along. Whoop. Move it a little bit more. Doesn't really matter. And then now you can use the push-pull tool, and push inwards 90 degrees. You can either try to get a reference on the inside of the wall like this, and now because you got set it to 200, you can just double click and you got another hole there. Okay, so now we get this. For this one, press the rectangle tool, so it's about, let's say 500. You see here, like the line thickness is different. because we're not inside the group with the wall, so that's why it's not connected. So I'm just gonna delete that face again, get inside that group, then redraw the rectangle. 500. See, now the light thickness is smaller, and let's mean that it's part of the same group. And press P and double click again because it's the same value. And I'm just gonna go all around the house and doing the same thing. Create some guidelines. You can try to select all the guidelines and then move them up, and because we want it at 2.1, so it's 1.1. Yeah. Okay, so now we're just going to recreate the windows. Let's say 900. Oops, forgot again. Need to get inside the group. 900, 1.1. Okay, gonna do the same thing here. And then the rest are doors actually, so same thing, just make a bigger rectangle and make it go all the way to the bottom. And this one I'm gonna put it as a thickness of 760, and we're gonna copy the same face to create another opening here. And I forgot to do the entry door. Take the rectangle tool, go down, and this one I'm gonna make 860. 860. So now that we've drawn all our faces, we're just gonna first I'm gonna delete all those guidelines. Okay, think cleaner. Okay, as you can see, it doesn't delete because actually they're not in the group, so you just have to escape first. So now you can select those guidelines. Okay, now go back inside, use the push pull tool, move it, let's say minus 100, oops, 100, now you get your whole. So now we get openings for the exterior walls. It's the same thing for the interior, but I'm not gonna do it at this stage. So let's see what we got. Exterior veranda, porch, main, post and beam, floor. So that's what we got. And now we're gonna build the timber balustrade here.